everybody for joining us today. Again, I'm Shauna Day, and I look after the online content and the webinars. So hopefully I'll be seeing more of you online here as we progress. First, I would like to introduce Hoyt Peckham. He is the president of Smartfish. And just a little bit about Smartfish. They're a supplier of artisanal seafood based in Mexico, and they're providing independently verified and sustainable products to distributors and retailers, as well as chefs and restaurateurs and consumers. One of the neat things about Hoyt's model is that it includes an NGO that helps incubate fishing co-ops, and he really has done a terrific job of generating triple bottom line impact, social, environmental, and economic benefits for artisanal fisheries and their families in Mexico. So I'm very happy to have Hoyt join us today, and I'll pass the baton to him now.
Hello, Shauna, and thank you very much for that generous introduction, as well as Monica for providing us all with another installation of Fish 2.0. It's such a fantastic program. I was emailing with Jacqueline, I guess it was yesterday, and we were both afraid of gushing too much about this because it's been so powerful for both of us and our enterprises. And hello to you all. Let me know if you have any questions here or offline. I'm happy to share, because I think, well, clearly we benefited so much from this, and be happy to pay it forward. So briefly, what I got out of Fish 2.0, I didn't write this on the slide, but they're basically four things: expertise, exposure, investments, and network. So to go through those, on the expertise side, going through the application process was really edifying for my team and me back in 2013, when we were not just pre-revenue, we were sort of pre-business. We were really coming in from a sustainability conservation sort of place where we had the idea that some business should be done, that there had to be a market-based solution to solve some of these problems for artisanal fisheries in Mexico, but we were really green. And so just going through the application process was incredibly edifying for us. So especially for groups that are pre-revenue, I think that could be very valuable. And it again helped us in 2015 when we came back as a post-revenue business, because they're good, hard questions to ask, and it's like having a free, business consulting team on your side for those months. Another way that we benefited was through the Industry Connection Prize, which Monica was mentioning. So we had access to a really outstanding organization, company, Highliner, one of the strongest companies in seafood in the States, and especially with their exemplary commitment to sustainability. It was fascinating to understand better how they make that work and how we could move our triple impact, strengthen in the way that they have. And one of the content pieces that came out of this, what I'm calling the expertise bit of what we got out of Fish 2.0, was, to give you a more concrete example, the identification of additional channels for us to move our product into, and that led us to explore exporting into the U.S. market, which is especially advantageous for a number of reasons. I won't go into them, but that was great for us to learn through that process. On the exposure side, there was some coverage of the first competition early on that we were featured in National Geographic and other outlets, and that actually landed us a deal supplying their Expedition Eco cruise ships that stands to this day, for a concrete example. Also, through that first round, excuse me, we were able to, and through that exposure, we were able to gain philanthropic support to refine our model. to really define much more clearly that we needed to separate our nonprofit and our for-profit entities, and that helped us to reach that conclusion and also helped us along that path to making it happen. Then on the investment side, in this last, in the 2015 round that we participated in, we came away with really strong relationships with investors. And so in one example of that is that there's a pioneer impact investor who's become a really close advisor to us. And he and others through this process helped us understand that we actually didn't need to sell our souls or any equity to get the working capital we needed to grow in the way we needed to explore these additional channels. And that was obviously very helpful. And I think that's good. And then the final one is our network. So being in touch, knowing, being able to contact people like Jacqueline and others who are in the Fish 2.0 network has been incredibly powerful. So I think I'll move along to what I wish I'd known beforehand. I think the biggest one would be how valuable our mentor's input would be, and that I should have scheduled enough or more time during the application process to dig in deeper with those mentors from the start. So not waiting until you get to Stanford to do a pitch and talk to them then, but actually engaging them from the start, from that first round of the application process. We definitely took better advantage of that the second time around. And also put on here how I wish I'd known how to make a fast pitch beforehand, because learning to do that 90-second pitch, or having the team, Monica and her team, force us into doing these 90-second pitches was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Well, actually making a pitch was, and probably one of the most useful. And I wish I had that skill earlier in my life, maybe my whole life, because it's been so so helpful. I can't tell you the number of times I've used basically that original 90-second pitch from 2013 to open all kinds of doors and close a few too. I think may move on to the next slide if I could. So advice. Yeah, already mentioned engaging mentors early and taking the time to learn and prepare those application materials. Like I mentioned back in 2013, going through that process for us was really eye-opening, difficult, but also really productive once we committed to doing it. So I would encourage you to put as much as you can into that process. And an example of that is with the pitch coaching, which is an amazing opportunity. Take that, take as full advantage of that as you possibly can, because no doubt it will come back to help you in the future. I think that's what, I'll leave it at that. I'm not sure how long I spoke just now, but I'll leave it to pass the baton on to the next speaker. I think Jacqueline.
Thank you, Hoyt. That's great. If people have questions for Hoyt, you can type them in the chat box and we'll get to them at the end, okay?
All right.